Let's talk about Tarik Skubal. The discussion about the Detroit left-hander centers around his improvement since May 23rd, posting an identical .355 ERA and SIERA, along with a 31% CSW, 14.9% swinging strike rate, and 30% strikeout rate. Since this date, Skubal has made two big changes. First, he abandoned a splitter he had introduced in the offseason and went back to the changeup, and he also reintroduced a sinker and started using it more and his four-seam fastball less. So the big question is this new version of Tarik Skubal for real? We need to start with the fact that the splitter was bad. He couldn't command it in the zone and gave up lots of hard contact when he did. The changeup is a better pitch, with a 35.2% CSW and a 1.83 deserved ERA. He throws it exclusively to right-handed hitters with only one changeup all year thrown to lefties. Despite its success, it has below-average movement, and Skubal has iffy command of the pitch. The heat map is all over the place, and it only has a 38.6% zone rate since being introduced. The other modification that doesn't get discussed enough is the introduction of the sinker. Skubal has been using it pretty consistently since reintroducing it, even making it his second most used pitch in a few starts. This is important because the four-seamer was getting hit hard as Skubal's only fastball, being the victim of 12 of Skubal's 19 total home runs allowed. It also allowed a .310 expected batting average and .628 expected slug on the season. The move to the sinker means he uses the four-seam less, but is also important because the sinker has slightly more movement and is a better pairing with the slider and chain. Using the four-seam less has allowed it to become more impactful as well. Skubal likes to go to the four-seam with two strikes. By using the sinker early in counts, the four-seam now provides a different look up in the zone, which has increased the swinging strike rate on it from 11.7% to 13.8%. However, since the introduction of the sinker, no pitch has improved as much as Skubal's slider. As you can see from the chart, Skubal saw massive jumps in swinging strike rate and CSW since the introduction of the sinker. With near identical zone rates and overall usage, the increased effectiveness is likely in the way the sinker and slider work off of one another. My long-term concern with Skubal's slider is the way that he throws it over the heart of the plate a lot, even when he's ahead in the count or with two strikes. I like the pitch, but I'd love to see him throw it out of the zone more often when he's ahead. Skubal caps off his arsenal with a knuckle curve that has a big bite, but surprisingly low 6.1% swinging strike rate. It has the lowest exit velocity of Skubal's pitches and a 180 deserved ERA, so its impact is mainly inducing soft contact. However, it is a near perfect mirror of the fastballs and gives Skubal a pitch mix where the sum is likely better than the individual parts. I'm intrigued by the modification to Skubal's pitch mix. However, I still have some concerns that Skubal gets below average movement on all of his pitches and doesn't have a great fastball. He also has sporadic control of his off-speed offerings, partially due to his violent glove side, often missing his spots and carrying a 10% walk rate on the season. I would certainly hold him in all leagues, but I expect a few bumps on the road, and if you can trade him for an established arm in a redraft league, I would be looking to do so, especially with his innings likely being capped at the end of the season.